Is PDA its own distinct profile of autism? There is still some debate about that. PDA is a profile of autism that's not yet widely known in the United States. Most of the research has been coming out of the United Kingdom since the mid-80s. PDA stands for pathological demand avoidance under the medical model and persistent drive for autonomy under the social model of disability. There is remarkable pushback against autistics like me who identify as PDA from our own autistic community. Quite often, other autistic people come to my page to tell me that I'm not PDA. In their opinion, I'm autistic with ADHD, extreme demand avoidance, a heightened nervous system threat response to authority, injustice, and control because of my history of trauma. And I just happen to enjoy storytelling, writing jokes, and communication. And I escape my trauma response by diving into projects, creations, and designs. And the fact that so many of us enjoy dress-up, fantasy, role play, and performance is further proof that we're escaping trauma, not actually a frequently noted trait that most of us enjoy and even craft careers out of. They say we're not our own profile of autism, that we just happen to be autistics who have all that stuff in common and have started a little club. Okay, cool, but PDA is shorter to say than that whole list of stuff. There is nothing wrong with having a community-chosen name to help us find each other, to help neurokin who share these traits and experiences connect and support each other. We could call it Bob if we want to. However, there's so much that PDAers have in common besides just autism with a pathological level of autonomy seeking. It's so much more than that one trait turned up to 11. It's also so much more than a trauma history. I know because PDA babies exist. PDA is inherited. It runs in families, it's lifelong, and it shows up pre-trauma. My babies were PDA in the belly. Everything from conception to birth had to be done on their terms. They were both born after 42 weeks, both totally resistant to induction and birth stimulation, both perfectly healthy, just making their entrance when they chose to do it. From the beginning, they did things their way. Infants with strong preferences for certain fabrics, people, holding positions, sensations. They were contrary about sleep, nursing, car seats, and carriers. They were newborns who kicked their socks off, toddlers who preferred the frustration of doing something over and over and over again by themselves, failing at it and struggling, to having me step in and do it for them, offer instruction, or try to help. My kids are just like me, even though we have totally different ACE scores. That's the measure of childhood trauma. And here's the other thing. I also have the joy of being married to a PDAer who happens to be an identical twin to an allistic. Despite identical genes, childhoods, and parents, basically the exact same ACE scores, they experience and respond to things wildly differently from each other. And then if you compare my husband to me, despite living with me and sharing most of our adult traumas together for over half our lives, my husband and I don't respond to things the same way. We have wildly different PDA experiences. PDA is not just autistics who have bad parents. It's not just autistics with CPTSD. It's not just autism with ADHD and extra executive disorder and special ODD sauce on top. It's not just autism plus mental illness. And PDA may actually be all those things, but that's not all it is.